Nidus Breachcast, the world's first identity management app made exclusively for identity experts and product owners, is available in the iOS App Store now. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nidus Anarchy series. I'm your host Adam, CIO and co-founder of Nidus, and today I want to talk about FLUX.1 from Black Forest Labs, the most amazing open source image AI generation that's out there, and I'm going to show you how to install it locally using ComfyUI. So the images that have been coming out of this FLUX.UI from Black Forest Labs have just been nothing but amazing. So Black Forest Labs just came out of nowhere, and then FLUX.1 just dominated the AI image generation space like instantly. So I'm going to show you this is the blog post from Black Forest Labs announcing that they exist, and they put out their first tool called FLUX.1. So I'm going to show you the three different variations and a little bit about it. So Black Forest Labs, these are just some images showing you what they've generated. Their team is from a bunch of great people that have an amazing background of been doing this for a while. They just kind of met together and made this European force of a powerhouse of AI image generation. And look at this. So this is the comparisons between their models and the other AI image generation. So they have three different models out. They have Schnell, Dev, and Pro. Schnell and Dev are open source. The weights are open, so you can download them and run them locally. And then Pro they have available as a service online, and it is a lot better, but it's crazy. But it's like 5 cents an image or so to generate, so it is costly. But we'll go over all that. I'll show you all the differences here. But just the big differences here that I want to point out, like when you look at these different models. So SDXL, this is Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion is pretty much the go-to AI image generation tool that everyone runs locally, because it can run pretty much everywhere on every type of machine, even CPU, those without GPUs, just runs a little slow. But you can see SDXL, Lightning, really low, SD3 Turbo, Stable Diffusion 3 Turbo, no one's really using that, medium as well. DALL-E 3, DALL-E, that's the one from OpenAI. Midjourney version 6, you can see right here in this kind of purplish color. This is the one that I've been using regularly for all of my image generation. I use this the most. The only time I'll go back and use Stable Diffusion is when I want to generate something specific, where I'm using ControlNet or some other type of plugins where I'm looking for a very specific type of thing to do, or it's like a service that I'm generating for some bots that I'm controlling. But for just like regular image, like, hey, I just want to generate a really cool image, I've been using Midjourney version 6 and loved it. It's been amazing for me. I've never had any issues. FLUX.1 Schnell, this is their lowest model, just barely beats out Midjourney version 6. I could see that them being very comparable, and probably one might do better than the other in certain areas, but Schnell is still very good. Ideogram, I don't know that one. I've never played with it. So SD3 Ultra, Stable Diffusion 3 Ultra. This I've played with a little bit online, and the images that it generate are amazing. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, if I need something awesome, I'm just going to pay to use this because it's better than everything else out there. I'm just going to do it. Until now, because now you'll see FLUX.1 Dev and FLUX.1 Pro, they both beat Stable Diffusion 3 Ultra. And FLUX.1 Dev, you can run locally. I'm going to show you how to install that from the beginning right here on my machine. And then FLUX.1 Pro is the service. And there is a noticeable gap between Dev and Pro, and you do see the visual difference. But holy crap, is the Dev version amazing. And it's free. So let's go ahead. We'll jump down. You can read all this fun stuff, but this is probably the most important one, is the cost. So how good it is versus the cost as to how much this thing's going to cost. Schnell can run pretty much on any machine, even CPU-based. Dev, you really want to have like a nice GPU to be able to get these images to generate in a timely manner. And then Pro, they're saying the cost is just way higher for a nominal difference between Dev and Pro, which makes sense. Here's just some examples of the range and the models of the different types of megapixels and the size that they can generate. But we'll get to that once we get this thing installed. We'll start playing around with making some images. So first off, let's get to here. We're going to start with this. So this is the blog post from them that shows how to install everything using ComfyUI. We're just going to go through this, and I'm going to show you how to do it all. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to download all these different files. The first thing we need, though, obviously, is we need ComfyUI. So let's go ahead and grab that. We'll open up a new tab. So we got ComfyUI here. And where's the download link? Down, down, down. There we go. Direct link to download. So we're just going to go ahead and download ComfyUI. And we're going to save this into here. Save. All right, this is going to take a while. This file is pretty big. Oh, never mind. It's a gig and a half, but apparently I got some pretty good speeds going on here. Okay, so that's going to be the ComfyUI. So let's go ahead and extract that as soon as it's done. There we go. So this uses 7-zip. When I use WinRAR for a lot of my stuff on the Windows side. Again, I'm more of a Mac guy. This is just my AI box. So this is the only Windows machine that I have. I feel kind of stupid when I use the Windows machine. But there's a lot of files in this thing, so this thing's going to take a while to unzip. So while that's doing that, let's go back and download the rest of the files that we're going to need. So the next thing that we're going to want is this T5XXL FP16 safe tensors file. If you'll notice in here it talks about memory. If you don't have enough RAM to run this one, you can get the FP8. It just runs, it'll generate images not as good. But maybe if you can't run the FP16, then downgrade to the FP8. But I would say first try the FP16 because that's where you're going to get the best files. So let's go there. And here we go. So there's the FP16 safe tensors file. So we're going to download that one. We'll save that in the same spot for right now. And then this, I'm not sure if we needed this one or not. I forgot it, but we're going to download it anyway just to have it because I'd rather have it now than not. And like I said before, if you can't run this FP16, if you're getting out of memory issues, download this FP8 file. This one should work better for you. Okay, so now we have that. We need to place that into this folder here in the models clip directory. So let's go ahead and do that. We're done. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this thing just to clean up. Open this, ComfyUI, and models, clip. Okay. Nope. Man, this is brutal. Where? I'm so bad with Windows, it's not even funny. Okay, so this thing is still downloading. Okay, so while that one's downloading, let's grab the next file. So we need this VE. This VE here, we're also going to open up and grab that. So there is a download button right here. Just click on this little link, and we're going to grab AE safe tensors file. Let's just put it right into the VE folder, so we've got that going. And this goes into models. And you'll see VE. We're just going to save that right there. Okay, so I just recently learned what a VE is. It's a variational autoencoder. And from my understanding, which is very minimal, is that it's kind of like a fine-tuning tweak for image generation to get more finer details, better enhanced colors. It just makes your images pop and be a bit like sharper and brighter. So this VE is being used in Flux.1. I have never used VEs before until now, and there is a bit of a difference. So there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there you can watch that'll show you the differences. It's minor, but it's just one of those things where it's one extra step that just brings that extra bit of oomph to your images once they're generated. Okay, so now we got the VE downloaded. Let's check on, okay, we have our clips. Let's just go ahead and cut those. And we're gonna put those into models, clip, plop those right there. There we go. Okay. So now we have our FP16 safe tensors file, we have our VE, we have ComfyUI downloaded, and now we need the actual weights. Here we go. So here's where we're going to find the Flux Dev diffusion model weights. So just go up a new tab. So this takes us to Hugging Face. And if we go into Files and Versions, you'll then see the safe tensors file right here. This is also, the VE is right here if you want to download it. We already got that, so we're going to go ahead and download this. And we're going to put this into ComfyUI Models Unit. And we're going to save that. This is 22.8 gigs. So this file is going to take a while to download. And okay, let's clean up some stuff. Okay, so now that we have all that, the last thing that we're going to need is this actual image. So I'm new to ComfyUI. I really just started playing with it to get Flux.1 to work. And something that's pretty rad is you can import an image that was generated using ComfyUI, and the entire workflow will show up in ComfyUI as to how that exact image was created, and you can actually generate that image exactly. It's pretty crazy. I'm guessing it's storing it in the metadata of the image. I don't know. I haven't even looked into it. But what they're saying here is this image here holds all the information to create that initial workflow in ComfyUI, so you can just start generating your own images. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this image and save it. We'll save it into, let's put it here for now. And then we'll drag that into our ComfyUI once that's loaded. Let's see, we're still downloading this file, still pretty big. So we're just going to fast forward and get this thing completely downloaded. Okay, so now our file is downloaded and we should be able to start up ComfyUI. So what we do is we go to the ComfyUI Windows Portable, and you'll see you have two different bat files. So one of them is to run it on a CPU and the other one's to run on a GPU. GPU is going to be way faster, and so we're going to do that. That's what we have. So this kicks off this command prompt, which will then open up a browser UI, and then it should load the ComfyUI interface. And there it is. Cool. Okay, and there it is. That is the ComfyUI interface. I'm not going to go into how ComfyUI works. There's tons of videos out there, and there's a lot to get into. I just want to get you up and running with Flux.1. So this is just a bare minimum just to do image generation. We are going to make this a lot cooler. So, but just to show you with this base one, if you click on Q prompt, okay, screw it. Okay, so we're not even going to mess with this. We're going to go straight to the ComfyUI Flux.1 workflow. And the way that we do that was kind of what we said before. We're just going to drag and drop that image into here, which is so crazy that this works. So we have this image, right? We saved it. We just drag and drop this to here. Boop. That's crazy. Look at that. The whole workflow is now here. So now, to kick this off, to regenerate that image, you'll notice we even have the noise seed, which is what the whole thing starts at. So if we cue the prompt, it should work. So now what's happening is it's starting here on load diffusion model. Then it's going to go through and run through each one of these steps. So you can see this highlighted green around the node. That shows you which node is actually currently firing. So right now we're on the dual clip loader. From here, it's then going to run the clip text encoder positive prompt, which is done. Now we're doing sampler custom advanced. And it just kind of bounces around and goes through all these different nodes until we get to the final save image box, which is where our image will show up. So we can see the progress bar here. It's now generating the image. I'm running this on a 4090 as my graphics card, so it's pretty beefy, but it still takes a little bit of time. And now it should be wrapping up. There it is. Bam. So we just generated that exact same image from here, if you remember, right? Look at that. That's crazy. The exact same image. And then this is the command prompt. You can actually watch the loading time happen here. So this whole thing took about 16 seconds to run. But yeah, that's pretty rad. So now we get to play with it. So now that we have the workflow, we can now tweak it and do whatever we want. So just to show you, if we want, let's just say we change the seed by 1, right? Now let's just regenerate this image. This is just to show how much of a difference the seed makes. So it's, even though it's only off by 1 digit, we're going to have a completely different image generated here in the end that looks nothing like this one. And we're almost done. There we go. So look at that. So even though we all we had to do is just change the seed just a little bit, we have a different image. Still very similar because our prompt generates that. And we can do a completely different seed. So watch this. Okay, so now let's have some fun with this. I have some prompts that I've used that I've generated previous images before using stable diffusion and such. So we're going to throw them in here just to see kind of what we get. So we're just going to modify the prompt. So this is an image that I generated to make a Viking ship in the water, to make it look like it was in a storm. This was for the Identiverse scavenger hunt. So here is a realistic Viking longship in a stormy waters at night with lightning cracking in the sky. The ship has runes in red on the sails, and hidden in the ship's woodworks are the same runes with numbers next to them. Let's see what we get. Nice. That's actually really awesome. Okay, now we have another one here. Let's do this one. This is a duck made up of ducks in a ball made of ducks. So I do this as kind of like just a test to see what the AI image generation does, because this is really, can it even extrapolate what it is I'm asking for using the same word over and over? Do I just get a giant duck, or do I get a duck made of ducks? So I don't know. This one's always kind of fun to see because you always get random stuff. So a duck made up of ducks in a ball made of ducks. I don't even really know what that means. That's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That is a duck in a ball made of ducks. That's crazy. That's amazing. Okay, now we're going to do some fun stuff. This one is a much longer prompt. I'm not going to read all of it because it's huge. But this is where I have all the crazy stuff about what the lighting and the shading and the textures and the high resolutions and the different engines and all this kind of stuff. So this is supposed to be a highly realistic, detailed image of just a container of weird glowing goo, essentially. So let's see what we get. Wow, that's actually pretty rad. Dang, that looks awesome. Okay, so now let's do some fun stuff. A photograph of a bunch of 20-year-olds in New York City at night during the summer, right after, oops, it rained, with glowing lights and reflections in the puddles. That's good enough. Let's just see what happens. So here I'm trying to go for detail, that rainy nighttime lights, textures, reflections, and I'm looking for kind of the realistic experience. So, but this is a small prompt, but this is where I'm really curious to see what kind of level of detail that we get out of this thing from more like kind of a realism with a minimal prompt. Crazy. Look at that. Look at that street. The people actually don't look like they belong there. So let's just, a bunch of zombies. Have more fun with it in puddles. And then now let's add some kind of like refining words. So we'll put realism, Unreal Engine 6, 8K, award-winning photography, depth of field, warm tones, hazy atmosphere. Okay, so now we just added a bunch of different types of descriptor words to try to bring up kind of the realism of the image. Obviously, like you saw in my previous prompt, we can make these way bigger, but I'm just trying to get through and see if I can refine this and make this just a little bit more realistic looking. So we'll see what happens now. It's like right out of a video game. But look at that street. Look at that puddle. That is nuts. This is what I do. I love just sitting here and generating like random images just to see what I can get. So let's see. Hannibal Lecter face mask covered in designer brands. Yeah, this is fun. So this is pretty much it. This is how to do it. Hopefully this is a really good crash course on how to install ComfyUI and get Flux.1 running. It's really simple. You just got to follow those quick little steps. I'll post all the links where to download everything and the run-through guide in the link in the description below so that you can have your own Hannibal Lecter design face mask. That is not Hannibal Lecter at all. What is that? What are those things that put in there? That's crazy. This is nuts too. I mean, just look at the detail it generated. Forget the fact that this is not Hannibal Lecter, but look at the detail of this woman's face, the hair, the depth of field blurring that's happening, the sharp focus point here in the nose and the eye. I mean, the level of detail and quality of what this thing can generate is insane. And this is all free. You can run this on your machine. I'm running this on my computer right now. So anyone can do this. This is nuts. We're at the very beginning of an amazing, wonderful world that we're about to appreciate. I'm gonna cut all that out. yeah, so, oh man, let's see what else I can do. This is crazy. Okay. A woman's face. Really detailed. Let's make it black and white. High contrast. Okay. Let's see what we get now. That's insane. This is not real. This is generated. It took 20 seconds to make this image. That's insane. Whew. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so now I'm doing just an up-close realistic photograph of a woman's eye. We'll see what we get from that. This is nuts. I mean, whenever you need an image made for anything, like for marketing purposes or for your website or for your pitch deck or whatever, you can make anything. And like right now I'm making people. That's nuts. Okay, but you can also do like create a infographic of a keyboard ripped apart by a hacker being paid in Bitcoin. This is just gonna be some weird, weird thing, but I just want to show you that like you can literally make anything that you can think of. If you can type a good enough prompt and you put in enough details, you'll make this thing look exactly the way that you want, and you don't have to hire external developers, you don't have to hire external graphic designers, photographers. All those jobs are going to go away because I can just do it here. I don't need to go to Fiverr or Upwork. I don't need to hire a photographer. This is crazy. I don't even know what this is, but it's pretty nuts. So ComfyUI is tons of fun, highly configurable, and this Flux.1 by Black Forest Labs is simply amazing. Now, one thing I do want to do is that cool container that we made. Let's plop that one back in here because I want to show you the difference between the Flux.1 Dev, which is the one I'm running here locally on my machine that we just set up, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's run on the Pro model that you have to pay as a service. So we're going to generate a model here of that same kind of the bigger prompt one, so we can have a really tight and highly detailed image to play with to see the differences. There we go. That is crazy cool, whatever that is. Okay, so now this is replicate.com, and I have an account built on here, so there's that. Same thing, blah, 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 and run. Okay, so now we're going to see what the difference is between the two images. Let's just close this stuff out. So there's the one that we generated here on the right. We'll see what we get generated here from the Pro model. Wow. So while it's definitely, whoops. Let's do a little side by side. I mean, these things are very close, just like in quality. Very, very close. But this one, you can see it does have that little bit of edge, a little bit more detail, a little bit more ambiance going on. But if you can run the dev model locally, it is good enough for sure. But if you can't run the dev model locally, or you really need that image that's just going to pop and be what you need for something that's super important, the Pro model is there. And like I said, this image costs like 5 cents to generate. So it's really still nothing. And if you don't have the machine, you don't want to spend the thousands of dollars on the GPU and the box and setup and all that, you can spend 5 cents and just have the image generated for you. So FLUX.1 by Black Forest Labs is amazing. The dev model, which is free, is unbelievable. The pro model is even more mind-blowing when it comes down to it, and the cost is nothing. So big, amazing news from Black Forest Labs. Thank you very much personally to them from me, because I'm going to be using this like crazy, and I know a lot of other people as well. This is definitely going to further enhancement of more development out there for the AI space. And taking this and making this into a movie is probably even crazier. So let's do that. Let's turn this thing into a movie. So let's save this image. This is another fun thing. I save that. We'll save that. ComfyUI portable. All right. So now let's go to. Let's see, where is that? Okay. So now we're going to use this site. The one I do. So runwayml.com. This site turns images into videos in an extremely impressive way. So we'll go ahead and log in. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you how this thing works. So we're going to do image to video, and we're going to load in. Let's see. Portable. All right, so let's go ahead and put this thing here. There's our image. We'll go with this one. We'll crop that out. Okay, so let's do a slow pan around the table with smoke and green fire flickering around. Let's try that and generate. Now, this is going to take a while. When it's done, we'll have turned this image into a video. That's pretty rad too. Okay, it's done. Let's watch it and see what it made. Oops. And it animated it. That's crazy. Let's try another one. Let's do delete this. Let's do upload a file. Okay, so we have, let's animate this one that we made. Should be interesting. Crop. I don't think it's going to be able to do this, honestly. Like, I don't know what's going to come of it, but we will see. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. That's crazy. That's insane. That is crazy. And this video is running choppy because I'm actually remoted into my AI box, and I'm running this over RDP. So just, let's do this real fast. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's actually, there. That's the video. It's smooth. And that is amazing. From this image, we now have that video. So AI is crazy. Things are going to get even more fun from here. But with ComfyUI, FLUX.1, and Runway, you can make some amazing stuff right from your own brain. And it's pretty cheap. So I don't like that exit. I'm gonna try a different one. So that's it. That's ComfyUI FLUX.1 Dev from Black Forest Labs and Runway ML, which turns those images into videos. This stuff is just getting more impressive by the week. It's like we're just constantly being shown new stuff from these guys. And the world of AI is just growing so exponentially fast. I'm so excited, and being able to play with this stuff is so much fun, and I hope you guys learned a lot. And if you have any questions, hit me up. I'll try to help you get your install set up and running. But it's pretty straightforward and simple. Also extremely cheap if you have the hardware. Everything is free. This stuff costs pennies to generate as well from the video perspective. So have fun. Love to see what you guys make from this. See you guys around. Bye. Nidus has just created the first iOS app made exclusively for identity management professionals. It's called Nidus Breachcast, and you can download it now. It's amazing. We have real-time updates of all the latest breaches that are occurring, CVEs as they come out real-time, really pertaining just to identity management. We have media that's going on in this podcast. We're going to be bringing in a lot more others as well. And we even have a complete vendor list of all the identity management vendors and all their products, so you can find out exactly where to download their software, all the documentation. And what's even more awesome is an identity management glossary. All those crazy words and acronyms that we can never remember, they're all listed in there for you. No ads, just pure information to make your life simple.